if I get restless, baby, you're not the kind.
Have you been on the booze already?
What's going on? What's happening here?
Just think, look at the power and the control this woman has at Paragon Bank.
I changed my title. I've changed it to Christmas Fairy from something else because I hadn't actually appreciated that my title would be on the screen.
Yeah. Well. I could, après-ski.
I think I just look gorgeous now because that's what women do when they put the sunglasses on their head. Yeah. Apparently. All that happens with mine is they just stretch and then they end up falling off and I'm like, oh God. So anyway.
Yeah, talking of glasses, I've got to go and get a new pair. I haven't got a single pair that don't have a scratch on. It's just,
Are you sure it's your glasses? It might be your eyes. Yeah. You might have scratchy eyes.
Indeed. Oh, nice.
Oh, very nice.
Lovely.
Yes. Right. Is that festive or is that just to try and give you a bit of a aura that makes you look attractive? Not that you don't anyway with that. You could carry the candle with you, if it's one.
Can do that.
Louisa, you might have hit the nail on the head there because, he probably has a smoke machine. He walks in to the room. I was going to say like he walks onto a yacht, but there's a song about
he
that.
Walks into... I'm not that vain.
No, I know you're not.
You probably think this song is about you, though, don't you?
So Lee had his Christmas do last night, hanging. Well done for...
You're looking good, Luke.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Not bad.
Of makeup.
Yeah, very good.
A little bit paler than normal.
Louisa, have you had the Paragon Christmas do yet?
Yes, we had our Paragon Christmas do 2 weeks ago. It was very sedate. I think I was back in my room in my hotel for about 10:30.
AM.
Yeah.
PM. Alone. It was a very nice evening.
Oh, nice. Okay, was it somewhere like posh? Sort of a meal and stuff.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was just very nice. There was a select group of us because there are so many within the Paragon family that if we try and get all of us together in one room, it kind of ends in disaster if we can get us all in one room. So we tend to just break out into the different teams. And so it was a small team. It was a nice, as I say, sedate gathering.
Marvellous. And Monty, your do was last week as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was less sedate. It was good. I did dress up as Father Christmas. And it was really good, actually. It was really good. We went to this place and it was like a Motown theme. They had an amazing band, Motown band. So it was really good. Everyone was dancing, good fun.
So here's the trick, Lee. Follow Monty's lead and actually book somewhere you want to go to, not somewhere that serves fish.
Oh, come on now, we're live. I can't say I don't want to go there. Honestly, it was lovely. If you're ever in Covent Garden, Lafette, beautiful restaurant.
What's it called?
Lafette.
Lafette.
Yeah. Burmese ginger salads. It was just all lovely. Brie.
Oh, nice.
Hake. Beautiful place. And a lovely head chef there called Muir. Beautiful place to go to.
Is it me or is Lee quite low?
He's quiet.
I don't mean like
low. No, I'm pretty quiet.
Do you want to talk, Lee? You're amongst friends. No, you just seem a bit quiet.
How's that? Is that better?
Oh, there
That's
you go.
Much better. Yeah, you just need to bring the microphone closer.
That's how it is.
Yeah,
just in the corner of
not
the
that. Just sort of put it under your nose there.
There we go.
That's what
out of the camera shot.
That's a near mic.
Now look.
Can you commentate on the day's racing?
Commentate on today's swaps. They're off a little bit.
Oh, crikey.
Which is marginal, but still over 4. Not good.
Yeah.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas not. We need to talk about those inflation figures.
Well, talk about it then, because we're filming this the day before the non-base rate change that everyone was hoping for. Still a lot of talk about the base rate could come down 4 times next year. So there's hope.
Really?
But it's not going to be before Christmas, right?
No,
not before
now.
February. February will be the first cut, if at all. But I think the rhetoric is pretty positive coming out of the bank, in so much as they know that ultimately they're going to have to cut rates. So I'm kind of hoping that we might see swaps come off a little bit today as a result of that.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do.
Swaps will go up.
No, I think they might come off. They went up yesterday.
Should we
They
have a
Came
did
off
bet?
a
yesterday.
little
Oh,
bit.
you're right, Louise. Actually,
Yes.
looking at it, they have dropped a little bit. Five's just
Yeah,
gone sub
they've. I mean,
4%.
only marginally off, but they're
Yeah,
off.
they have
But
dropped.
yes, I think we should have a bet.
So no,
Spot
so
on.
okay, so explain this then,
1
because
year 4.4,
the
2 year
inflation news
4.27.
today is not good, and it's up at what 2.6 or something,
2.6, yeah, versus
which
what
is
an
more than
anticipation of
expected.
2.4.
So wouldn't we anticipate? So I guess you got the dual things, haven't you? You got the inflation is higher than expected, and not looking great in the short term, but you've also got the fact that the economy's buggered and also not looking great in the
Unemployment's,
longer
yeah,
term.
unemployment's not looking great. So it kind of feel. I genuinely think that we'll get some positive rhetoric out of the bank tomorrow.
That's
But
very
maybe I'm
interesting.
an eternal optimist, but
What does that
I
mean,
genuinely
Louisa?
think
What does that mean?
I th-
Positive
I
rhetoric.
think what we'll get is a real clear steer of when interest rates are going to come off next year, when they're going to start to reduce them. I think the first rate cut will probably be February. And I think that if they signpost that well, because today obviously it's been really mixed messages. So I think if we get some clear indications of when interest rates are going to be cut into 2025, I just think that that will give a little bit of confidence in the market, which is why I think it might drive swaps down. But who knows? You know, the volatility around swaps every day is different. But my gut feel is that by close of play this week, they will be a little bit more off than they are today. And when this recording goes out next week, people can go, she has not got the faintest idea what she's talking about.
Well, I think that's the problem, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
most of us used to pride ourselves on we sort of know what's going to happen, and now we haven't got a clue.
Well,
Eeny, meeny.
I think even economists were surprised about the increase in inflation, weren't they?
Yeah.
So,
But 5-year went up to 4% yesterday.
Yeah.
It's still above
Yeah,
4,
it's still about
but only
4, yeah.
marginally. It did come off a tiny
I've
bit
got it at
today.
3.989 at the moment.
Yeah.
We've edged back down again, so an element of confidence there. But yeah, it was big jumps yesterday. It was about 10 bips across the 1, 2, 3, and 5s, wasn't it? Big jumps
Yeah.
yesterday. But yeah,
Yeah.
nice to see a little bit of red this morning. So yeah,
It
we'll see
is.
how it plays out. I like Louisa's outlook. I like that kind of positivity, especially my rate coming up in April. I like any kind of positivity I can hear.
oh, is it? Yeah. So what are you going to do? How long are you going to fix
I'm
for in
going
April?
2 year fixed, 100%. I'm
Yeah.
going 2 year fixed, and then I'm going to roll the dice again in 2 years' time and see where we are. But yeah, especially off the back of what you've just said, I've not heard that 4 potential cuts next year. I've still been hearing between 2 and 3. So even 2 or 3, I would happily take, but 4, 100%, I'm going to be going 2 year fixed.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, wasn't it? I think I'm a bit less optimistic than I was, so I'm going to go for 3 next year.
But you've got that bizarre picture next year, haven't you, where people coming off 5-year fixes are still going to have a bit of a rate shock, and those coming off 2-year fixes are actually going to have a rate decrease. So I think that those coming off 5 years are going to trip onto 2 years, and those coming off 2 years are going to stay on 2 years. So I do think that we've got a 2-year market ahead. But that's a good thing, because that gives, great opportunities for brokers in particular, providing they're managing their client bank. They've got that 2-year return then, as opposed to having to wait for 5 years. So I think that whilst it's going to, the market's going to switch very slightly to that 2-year product, I just think I can only see that's a positive.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of talk around it being a buyer's market next year as well. Buyer's market, 3, 4 base rate cuts as well. I'm really optimistic about next year. I'm actually really
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Have you seen the UK finance forecast?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's again really optimistic. And
Up
whilst
about 10%, isn't it? 11%.
it is, yeah. Buy-to-let purchases is slightly down. I think it's down by about 7% according to them. And interestingly, the IMLA numbers are not yet out, but they tend to be a little marginally more accurate actually than the UK finance numbers. And looking at them, it's in draft at the minute, but looking at those, they're expecting an uplift again, same as UK finance, which is really positive, and calling out, quite a big increase in the market, which I think is incredibly optimistic but incredibly positive. So I tend to agree with them.
There's a lot of positivity coming out of the buy-to-let market in that, as we all predicted anyway, that professional landlords are less worried about the tax increases that happened at the last budget.
Yeah, do you know what? I was expecting to see an influx of landlords cancelling their applications. We didn't see any, which is really positive. I think the Renters' Rights Bill, if you look at the Renters' Rights Bill and just look at the detail of it, it's fine. There is nothing in there that is going to create a major issue for the buy-to-let market. I think it's absolutely fine, and for the PRS. The thing that's going to cause a problem for that is the implementation. So if they decide after royal assent, the day after, they're going to implement it, then it's clearly going to go wrong because the courts are not ready, which is exactly what the Conservative government called out. But I think the Labour government have now got a little bit of a political situation whereby, Conservatives failed to deliver this. We will deliver it. But I think they need to be really careful with that implementation, because if they don't do a smooth transition into the Renters' Rights Bill, it will fail.
Yeah.
And I think the majority of people accept and acknowledge that. So I think that's fine. So if I was a landlord, I wouldn't be worried about the Renters' Rights Bill at all. I think if anything, it just gives more clarity around the whole of that PRS. So I don't think that's a problem. It's a headwind, but it's not it's not anything that landlords haven't faced into before.
The other thing that's on landlord's side is rents. So was it today? The rental figures today in London, rents have risen by 11.6% over the past year. I mean, it's crazy.
But it's that supply-demand mismatch again,
absolutely.
isn't it? If you've got 21 households queuing up for every new tenancy, then naturally, that's going to impact.
Is that what the stats is now?
Yeah,
21?
so 21. It was at 25 12 months ago, so it's now 21. So it's coming down in the right direction. But, that supply-demand mismatch is just, all it's going to do is drive prices up. The Renters' Rights Bill will help to try and, I suppose, eradicate some of those big spikes, which is exactly what it's meant to do. But, when we talk to our landlords, the last thing that they want to do is increase rents beyond affordability, because then you've got the instability within your stock. So they don't want voids. At the end of the day, if you've got a good tenant, providing it works from a business case, then you wouldn't necessarily increase rents beyond affordability. It's the new tenancies that are clearly impacting those rents.
We're still seeing, like prime central London, we're still seeing yields of like low threes though. It's really not seeing much of a rent rise going on in the city and around prime central London. Still struggling with those. Once you get past Watford, the yields are looking great once you get past there. But in and around...
Is beyond Watford not prime anymore?
Don't know. I think it's just edging a little bit further forward now, isn't it? Further north. But yeah,
it's up north. When you get really far up north, Lee, then those yields are amazing.
He's talking about sort of
Lee's never been past Watford.
Yeah, so M25 Watford.
He has, because I've seen him in person in Leeds.
Yes. And what a lovely visit that was as well.
It was a lovely visit. He threw coffee down the front of himself because he was so anxious at being outside of London. Monty, on a more serious question here, can I just ask you, what flavoured jam have you got on your toast? Is that strawberry or is that raspberry?
It's Marmite.
Oh yes.
Wow.
It's not actually Marmite. It's a sort of a Marmite-like spread.
Is it an Aldi version of Marmite?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Marmite.
Marmite. It's Marmite.
I'm going to have to...
So is that the serious bit about the market done now? Shall we...
Yeah.
Everyone's attention span.
We're optimistic.
Louise has lost interest already.
I've had to put my glasses on because I'm overwhelmed with Marmite.
I also like your jingle bells.
Duck.
Yeah, look at that.
Jingle bells.
Yeah.
You see, I made the effort today.
We got it, Louisa.
It's a play on
words.
words.
Explaining that.
It was for the wider audience.
Right.
Are you saying that the wider audience who watches this needs that explanation? Don't diss your audience, Lou.
Yeah,
they're really intelligent. We get.
I apologise to the audience. It's because I didn't know whether they could see it properly. That's all it was.
I've been very
audience, Paul, go on.
Sorry, they send in questions that we can.
The audience. So I think for next year,
New Year's special.
Yeah, I definitely think for those that and what is really lovely is when we're all out and about at events, we are getting people coming up to us now saying, really enjoying the podcast.
Yeah.
Are you getting that, are you?
Well, let me tell you, have you not had that then? So Monty and I at the MAB conference,
we're the
so
minglers.
we walked in and they didn't say, oh, do you know what, there's, Andrew Montlake, or, Monty, whatever. It was like, there's the minglers.
Yeah. That's
So,
how we
The
were treated.
minglers, that's
Yeah.
a great terminology.
Two of the minglers.
Yeah.
Two of the minglers.
Yeah.
I missed the last mingle. I was disappointed, but I did watch it. So
Do you know
I think
what?
it was,
We
that
were
was good.
disappointed. We were
Yeah,
disappointed.
it was much
in
better, to
your
be fair, but
attitude.
we were disappointed you weren't.
It was upgraded enormously. I mean, I was disappointed at how good it was. I thought, oh, this is going to be really bad. But there you go.
For the record, I was, thank you to Emma Hall.
Yes.
And I was at the Rick Astley concert last night too, and I was trying to spy her because I think she was like second row. She could almost touch
She
him.
loves Rick Astley. doesn't
So, but I've got
So
to
was
say,
he good? Rick
He
Astley?
was
awesome.
Oh, he was fabulous, and he
He's
was
really
doing like
funny, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's such a
he's
lovely guy.
very. He's great,
That's
and
because he's northern.
yeah.
Not all
saying-
Northerners are funny.
We could get some tickets to his next concert.
Or we can get Rick Astley on the next Mingle.
Exactly.
He's bound to
Talking
want
about
to join us. He's bound
yeah,
to.
I mean-
Yeah.
He's a nice man.
In conclusion, though, you've got the Rick Astley Ask. So for this year, can we have any freebies? So with Paul with Rick Astley.
Yeah.
I have my chocolate-covered almonds.
Yeah, that's a bit easier than getting Rick Astley on a
Well,
podcast.
no,
Let's be
clearly
honest
not,
about it.
because I haven't had any.
No, I
Lee,
think it might be
you've got
tougher.
the Burmese fish restaurant.
Love it.
And
Can I just stop you
Edward
there?
Monty's
Are we allowed
Marmite.
to call it Burmese?
It's
Because it's Myanmar now, isn't it? So do you have to
You've
say
sp-
it's
you're absolutely
Myanmarese?
Oh. Well,
what does it say above on the menu? What does it say?
Yeah. What is it? Yeah.
It calls itself on its website one of London's only Bernese restaurants.
Oh, Bernese.
but-
Oh, you went to a Bernie Inn.
Burmese. So-
Listen, I think it's
get
brilliant that
extra
Lee is
onion
actually
rings?
here.
yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Lou. I am absolutely feeling awful.
There's a
There
whole
we go.
swathe of listeners who have no idea what the hell a Bernie Inn is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's still
Great
on the
nights
website as Burmese. I think we were right there.
Yeah, smashing.
That was a posh night out when I was younger. Bernie Inn.
The Bernie
Or the
Inn, yeah.
Toby. God, the Toby going out
That's
in
it.
the 80s.
Yeah.
That was posh night out.
Every
The
Still
golden
is.
egg. It was the
every
golden egg in my
birthday,
time.
the treat was the Bernie Inn.
I mean, you grew up in a posh
Were they-
household every Thursday.
Were they
Every
predominantly
birthday,
south?
not
Oh,
every
birthday. I thought you said Thursday.
Jeez, we went rolling in money.
Were they predominantly a southern brand? Because I'm not sure I recall those. Or is it because I'm just so much younger than you guys?
I think Harry Ramsden had the monopoly where you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
steak didn't come up north till much
Oh,
later.
Yeah.
good grief! No,
It
we
was
just
just
had
fish.
we just had fish. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Cod.
Yeah.
And you only had cod. No
Yeah.
haddock, just cod.
No, had just cod, and now we have pollock. I repeat, pollock.
Do you have pollock?
We do have pollock, yeah, which is the cheaper version of cod, I believe.
Yeah. It's still very tasty, pollock.
Oh, it is, yeah. Especially deep fried.
Great texture. Back on topic. So
anyway,
this year,
mortgage.
well, at the beginning of this year, we said we were going to start doing this crazy podcast, and Monty said, "Well, I'm under contract to 4 other people that actually pay me to do this."
I'm still waiting for my contract.
I know,
Paul.
and I said, "Well, you've got to have to do it for love or not at all."
Paul, who should we be excited about next year? Who have we got coming through next
Well, do you know
year?
what?
Rick
We've
Astley.
got some names lined up, but I don't really want to say right now
Oh.
because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
Okay. What you mean, just in case they change their mind? Is that
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah,
thinking? Okay, that's fine. Once they see this, they'll just go, actually.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to know from the 3 people that watch this, and I'm very grateful to all of you. I will be sending you a
Is
present.
that,
in the
that
post.
is us.
Yeah,
you watch it?
if-
I'd never watched it. Is it good?
Great.
Well, I have to because I have to edit it. And I go, oh, that wasn't funny. Yeah, firstly, if there's anything that our viewers, our lovely viewers, our minglers would love to see, or guests. I think that's the other thing. We mentioned at the beginning of the year, we've got the possibility to get some guests on that either may not go on other podcasts, and we've seen that this year with a couple of our guests, or people just more generally that people would like to see that may not be in the the eye of the industry so much, but are quite influential. So we'll happily reach out to anyone of any level to ask them to join us.
I think, do you know what I'd really like to see? I'd like to see some of our operational colleagues coming on to talk to us about the trials and tribulations of operations, because we kind of focus about on the front end, but not necessarily probably the key and most important people within our firms that support at the back end. So I would really like to see somebody from
Yeah,
operations,
that's a good idea,
if that's doable. So if anybody wants to put themselves forward, I think that would be great.
And they get a free Mortgage Mingle T-shirt for appearing
Free
live.
Mortgage Mingle T-shirt and a chocolate-covered almond.
Amazing.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Have we
Just
got
one.
Mortgage Mingle mugs?
Oh,
I think,
wow.
apart from us full.
Hang on,
Just
Wow.
four.
Yeah.
I know. Are we setting up a merch store now? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
no, I think we should, yeah.
So we've had some great guests. So thank you very much to all of those for attending and looking forward to next year. How many podcasts have you got next year, Monty? Is it 6, 8?
Well, I do need to
You know, it's
bring
like the
back-
reruns. You know, when you're sort of watching, like, BBC ITV, you go onto like a podcast thing, you go, oh, there's Monty again. Oh, it's like even 3 o'clock in the morning, LBC, you go, hang on a minute, am I dreaming? It's like the radio's left on. I'm going, is that Andrew? Is
Yeah,
he
I
here?
do
Is
do
he with me?
those slots. Yeah. I do those with Clive Bull. I love Clive Bull.
Yes.
What a fantastic human being. He's so nice.
Is he better than your real friends around the table here, the virtual table?
Real friends?
Real
Are
friends.
you real friends?
I would like to consider myself a real
You are.
friend.
Do you know what?
Monty.
It's been actually, when you reflect on the year, and I did this before in some of the stuff I've written this year, but actually this year and last year has been so up and down for so many of us in this industry, and you three, amongst others, have been so nice and so kind and always available. And thank you, because it's really important. And thank you to everyone who helps other people as well, because it's really important in this industry that we look after each other, especially when it's up and down. And without some of the friends and colleagues that I've had, I don't know what I'd have done over the last couple of years. So thank you to all of you.
And thank you too. And I totally agree with and join you in that sentiment, because you are right. It's been a roller coaster, hasn't it? The last 2 years, really.
Yeah.
But next year is just going to be awesome.
Yeah. 2 years ago, Lee had a full head of hair. I was
Did.
completely, I was completely not grey.
Yeah, I had a full beard.
I found that. Did you see
Got
that
rid of that.
magazine?
What happened? I liked your beard. What happened to your beard?
Well, I just stopped the testosterone because that's clearly was all I was getting. I just got a big fuzzy face, and that's not attractive. Not really.
And Paul,
Depends. Eye of the beholder and all that.
and Paul wasn't a lumberjack. How's a
Yeah.
lumberjack?
This is my Christmas lumberjack shirt.
Yeah.
This is about as Christmassy
Is
as I
that
get.
is that
in
it?
here.
Is that your effort?
Yeah.
That's the extent of your.
That is
festive
it. Ho,
effort.
ho, ho. Anyway,
Anyway.
moving on.
Are you actually going to get any decent material out?
I've got no idea. to be honest with
I
you.
think
gonna
he is.
struggle
I
with
think
it,
this
to be
is
honest
just
with
going to
you.
be
I think it's genius,
fun and
yeah.
frolics.
So I'll ask you all the question then, as if this was a serious podcast. What has been your highlight of 2024 and why?
Who are you going to first, Monty?
And I'm going to go to the Christmas fairy first.
Lee.
Come on, Tinks.
I
You go
suppose.
first,
I mean,
Luke.
I could say joining the Mortgage Mingle, because that has been a really lovely highlight of this year, to be honest with you, and I've thoroughly enjoyed these. But I suppose for me, personally, it was when I took the call from Nigel to announce that Richard Roundtree was resigning from Paragon, and would I like to take his position? And so, I used to covet the role that I now have. I used to covet it when John Herron did it, and I used to look and think he has got the best job in the industry. He works for the most amazing company with the most amazing people, and I want his job. And that was probably 20 years ago, 25 years ago when I was at Mortgage Express, and that's what I used to look upon him and think he's amazing.
Yeah.
And then when I was lucky enough to join Paragon 18 months ago, I never dreamed that this would eventually be my role. So I think the biggest thing for me is probably, being lucky enough to be the MD of mortgages at Paragon. It's the role that I always wanted. So
Do you think you've
that's the biggest
manifested
thing.
it? I think you've manifested this.
Do you know what? I'd love to think that I had, and that my magic fairy dust that clearly I'm alluding to on the podcast. But no, I think to some degree maybe because Richard recruited me, and maybe did he recruit me, as part of succession planning, possibly. But did we expect it to happen as soon as it did? Probably not. So I feel incredibly lucky to have been handed the role, really. So that's me.
Very good.
How'd you follow that?
I don't know. Lee?
Honestly, it's just getting through 2024. It has been so
I
hard.
was going to say.
My biggest accomplishment is it nearly being 2025. Can't wait. No, it's been a good year. It's been an okay year, but it has been really tough. This has been probably
You've
one of
expanded a bit, mate, though, haven't you? You've
Yeah,
taken some more
yeah,
people on and stuff.
I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased with the team. We've got such a lovely team. Everyone going in the same direction. Everyone on board. Everyone got the same kind of, ethics and everything. I'm so proud of the team. I absolutely love the group we've got together, and I am going into 2025 really excited about where it's going. But yeah, it was such a hard year. This is one of the hardest years I can remember for a long time. Really, really tough. So when you look back, what's your highlight? A lot of them were kind of private family stuff. None of the highlights really came through work because work was tough.
Did your wife give you commission for selling the paintings?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably been the biggest success is my wife's artwork. She's done really, really well. Really,
Can I
really well.
just say, I love her artwork. I wish I could afford
Likewise.
We should get her on the podcast. That would be great.
Yeah.
And get Mrs. K involved.
Can we do Mr. and Mrs.?
That's a good idea. Let's do that. No, but unfortunately, going back to your question, mate, no commission whatsoever. And I really push her artwork. Nothing.
Is that one behind you now as we speak?
No, that's actually not. That
isn't it?
is the
Oh.
meeting room in our serviced offices. So,
Faux pas.
Yeah.
Faux pas.
Yeah. No, it doesn't look like hers
No,
at
it's
all.
not
I
good
don't know
No,
why I
it,
said
it,
yes.
not good enough.
no, it's not. It's
Not
you're
good.
absolutely
It looks
right.
a bit
It's not.
too basic.
Yeah, it does.
Mrs. K is much more talented than that.
She is.
bless you, mate. Bless you. What about yourself, Paul? What was your highlight, mate?
Do you know, it's a difficult one because it's been a bit of a strange year. There's been ups and downs for me as well as you guys. I'm going to be a little bit profound. For me, I've gained a lot of perspective this year. And I think that my lens in respect of perspective had been very much out of focus in the previous few years. I've been very grateful to have the opportunity to be quite introspective. And so that for me, actually, without sounding too deep, is quite the highlight. It's been a lot of fun, as I've mentioned before, working with the lovely people at Bright Star and launching the private label brand. And for those of us of a certain age, there is still a lot of affection for that. So that's been lovely. That's been really nice.
And you, Monty? What's been the
Monty.
highlight for you?
Well,
Well, yeah, much like Lee, actually, getting through it has been amazing. I don't know. I think I quite agree with Paul a little bit. I think I've had quite a few changes in myself and how I perceive things and people and running a business and etc. I think it has been quite a profound year or two, really, in terms of the gift of being able to look inward has been quite interesting. I guess it's just really I had a fabulous trip away with some friends, some great kings, which was a massive highlight, and it was nice to win Business Leader of the Year for the fourth time and third year running. That was amazing. But mostly it's I get the joy from working with the people at Corico, much like Lee does. That's where I get my joy.
Lee
in
work at
terms of-
Corico.
yeah, they're a lovely bunch over there.
Yeah, and yeah, that's although there are challenges, and I don't get everything right, and we have our our disagreements, but as in every company, I think the values and the DNA of the company I really love. And there's been some great stuff there, and the highlight is mixing with the people in the industry. That's why I'm still in this industry. It's, you know, as I was saying earlier, it's the people in the industry that keep me going, and I'm really lucky. I've got people who, although I don't see them every single week, you know, I've known some of you guys for 20 years or so.
What you said then once, actually, it has been a tough couple of years. That's when you've realised how great the industry really is, because it has been hard, and everyone has really come together over the last couple of years as well.
Look what we've achieved over the last couple of years. You've got the working in mortgages stuff. Amy Imler really working together. D&I, that's really coming along. The mortgage industry mental health charter. Again, that's competitors coming together for the greater good. There's not many other industries I can think of, Lee, where you might have a WhatsApp group with, say, like you, me, the mortgage mum, a couple of others, real competitors,
Yeah.
but helping each other run our businesses.
Yeah, it's so true.
And genuinely so. It's magical. It really is magical.
On our
Family
sort of
show.
Christmas edition, non-Christmas edition Mingle podcast, it's definitely,
Some of us made an effort.
yes, you did. But we are absolutely genuinely grateful for all of you lovely people watching. Thank you very much. Looking forward to next year. And to say as well that for some of us, Christmas is a challenge because it highlights good stuff and it highlights stuff that makes us feel a bit sad too. And my advice is don't dwell on it. It'll be over and we'll be pushing ahead again, and next year will be even better. So
Next
be
year is
strong,
going to be awesome.
enjoy the good bits, and have a good one.
Great advice. Happy Christmas, everyone. Have a good
Merry
one.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Just wanna tell you how I'm feeling.